Pandemanium Shadow Poo!
Hello, welcome to the Bronze Age Monster Shadow Show. This is a show we make every other week for our loyal patrons, where we talk about a whole lot of everything. We're going to do free jazz this episode, which we are doing a couple times before the end of the run, which I always like our free jazz shows. I think they're fun. We do cool stuff on them.
Yeah, there's substrata now. There's nice things free jazz. There's Kickstarter catch-up.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's true free jazz, which is just acid jazz, where it's just the nonsense you and I were talking about for the last 10 minutes that we're not going to stick in the show.
I know. It's just like, why didn't we just put that as a fucking show? But yeah. No. So, like you said, you had scheduled us another Two Nice Things. I enjoyed the Two Nice Things we did last time. That was really fun. I'm going to check out that comic you talked about. It looked amazing.
Sweet.
Oh.
Once I can afford it, I'm buying the one you talked about.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. Wow. It's a skint Christmas, as they say.
It is very stressful when it was here. I'm trying to not use a credit card to celebrate Christmas, and it's making it a very, very lean Christmas.
Yep. Which is okay. It's fine.
Kids like origami, don't they?
They love origami. And
another swan from Dad.
Yeah. They love hard lessons is what they really love. So that's what we'll give them. I can't remember who went first on our nice things last time. Did I go first? I think I went first.
You did.
Yeah, why don't you go first this time?
You want me to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice things.
So I didn't mentally prepare for this a lot, but this is something I was just going through the shelves. Like we talked about maybe doing like a roll the dice, pick a shelf, roll the dice to pick a book off the shelf and just pull it off and just talk for a minute. We never did that. But I kind of did that a little bit with this. And this is something that I realized I've never actually read the whole thing. So this is Forming, Volume 1 by Jesse Moynihan. And this was published by No Brow Press, a very small press. So part of what kind of reminded me to check this out was that I Googled him and saw that he had finished this trilogy. And so 3 is coming out, and Fantagraphics is publishing an omnibus of all 3 of these. So this came out in 2012. And I had read part of it and totally forgot about it. So if you don't know Jesse Moynihan, he is one of the storyboard artists on Adventure Time. And so he kind of all those Adventure Time related people had a moment in indie comics in the 2010s where they were just doing different stuff. But this, Jacob, I think you would dig, because I'm going to pull up. This is a webcomic, by the way, folks, so you don't have to invest anything to check this out. This is on his website. And Jacob, it is this sprawling, God, how would you describe it? It's like Zecharia Sitchin's 12th Planet meets Megahex or whatever, every Megahex, Gog and Magog, those comics about the witch that just smokes dope with her.
Oh God, those
cat.
are so weird.
So it's like Zecharia Sitchin meets this. It's absolutely nutty. So it just starts off with Mithras hurtling towards the earth, and it's this just crazy. Look how long it is. The whole thing is online. Each entry is about a page. So Mithras is this weird slug fish thing. And so a lot of the stuff is intact. There's Gaia and Cronus and all the things right? Where you expect okay, so this god comes to this earth. There's these super primitive beings there. They inject, whatever, some type of technology or DNA into them and create these workers, and they're mining these materials. All the stuff that ancient astronaut stuff uses a lot. But it's this weird stoner, oops, sorry, clicked off the wrong thing. It's this weird stoner take on it. So it's all about Atlantis. This character here is Lucifer, and it looks like a deer without skin on it. It's a centaur and has horns. It's just all mythology, huffed gas. And there's primitive humans, and they use them, and like some of it's funny, some of it's horny, like kind of transgressive. There's a whole kind of idea that you'd expect, like where, Cronus is going to overthrow his father, but it's like all the mythology, all the cosmology of different world myths, like the way things started, the dawn of time. But it's like they just like put them in a shaker, just shook them all up, and it's just like this weird kind of gibberish. Like he's just piecing it together in this weird way. And it's just got these weird moments like this where like a guy's talking to a dead wolf's head, but it's actually Lucifer from the underworld, like animating a dead wolf's head and talking to him and trying to like tempt him into like turning against his father. It's very psychedelic. That's the Archangel Michael fighting Lucifer in heaven.
Whoa.
So it's all like this watercolor, pencil drawn, then watercolored, and it's very psychedelic, very strange. There'll just be cool abstract moments like this where it's just kind of like iconic stuff. So it's a wild ride, and I don't know if like everybody that listens to our show would dig this. Like if this art turns you off, you'll hate it. If the idea of like, when I say it, it sounds like someone read ancient astronaut stuff and then like huffed some gas and then started like drawing in a notebook. If that sounds like a nightmare to you, you'll hate this. I think a lot of people like it. I think Jacob, you would fucking love it. It's weird.
It looks awesome.
Yeah. So this is Mithras, like it's just weird stuff. There's Cronus and Rhea making out, brother and sister, it's weird, and it gets filthy and, it gets dirty. Like it's surreal and disturbing and odd and 100% me. So, yeah, like I said, Fantagraphics is publishing the omnibus of all 3 volumes in 2026. He was super stoked about that because it's been his dream to be published by Fantagraphics. Well, I'm happy for him. He's also a musician, by the way. He tried out to be the drummer in Dr. Dog, a band that I love.
Oh, wow.
And didn't quite make it, but he's been in a ton of different bands, punk bands, noise bands, thrash bands, like a lot of those kind of underground comics guys are. They love that noisy, weird shit in the Northeast. So that's his thing, but that's Forming, Volume 1. And all 3 volumes are on his website.
Oh, that's cool. And it's a webcomic that I can just go and check out some of the stuff. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so if you're just listening, folks, it's Jesse Moynihan, JesseMoynihan.com. And he posts a lot of stuff on there, and the entire Forming saga is on there.
Cool. Oh, that sounds great. No, I love that you're using the platform of Nice Things to, all these indie creators, all this different stuff that, that does need more eyes on it. So, I mean, that's the Lord's work right there.
You also do the Lord's work.
Yeah. I do the Lord's historic work, which is much more boring.
It's not more boring.
But,
come on, Bill Everett.
Yes, so I'm going to talk about this great oversized hardcover book called Fire and Water by Blake Bell. That's called Bill Everett, the Submariner, and the Birth of Marvel Comics. So this book is really, really amazing. I got it. It came out a while ago. I think it came out over maybe 10, 15 years ago. But it's beautiful. And like a lot of these books, I mean, this is a pretty thick book. Most of it is art, and most of it is just a lot of his covers and different things. But there's a really, like the first third of it is a really in-depth biography of Bill Everett, which is, is one of the more beloved creators ever. And interestingly enough, as far as like fandom and history goes, like one of the very first issues of Alter Ego of Roy Thomas was Roy Thomas doing a really in-depth interview with Bill Everett because he was Bill Everett's roommate for a while and was fascinated with the guy. And yeah,
what's their age difference?
A lot, I think.
Significant, right?
Yeah, significant. Like Bill Everett was born in 1917, I think. So
Thomas was born like 42 or something, or
yeah. And I mean, anyone that listens to the show obviously knows who Bill Everett is. Bill Everett was a really early dawn of comics creator. He worked for Centaur and Funnies Inc. originally, doing things like some of his earliest characters were Amazing Man and Hydro Man, and they sound really corny, and they are a little corny, but they're also fucking awesome. They're so fucking awesome.
I love that collection he gave me.
Oh man, it's so good. Hydro Man is way more engaging and entertaining than it should be. And also Hydro Man was a feature in something that I actually have 2 or 3 issues of, which is a golden age, really early golden age comic called Regular Guys Funny Comics. That's REG''LAR.
Regular Guys.
Or Regular Guys Heroic Comics, I think it is at one point too. And yeah, it's fucking awesome. And so, yeah, he did that, and he went on to, for the very first issue of Marvel Comics, he created the Submariner. Mm-hmm. He was 22 when he created the Submariner. His name is William Blake Everett. He is a descendant of William Blake. And Everett's grandsons, all the Everett family still will put the name Blake in their son's name, which why the fuck wouldn't you? I would do that shit.
I had no idea. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Wow. And so yeah, Bill Everett is a titan, and everything that he did is amazing. I mean, you know, the stuff that he did for the Atlas era horror comics, his work in Menace, his work all throughout Marvel Comics. I mean, whether it's Submariner or I don't know. And he was talking in here like, you know, the Submariner was such an interesting comic creation and character. You know, I mean, some would call him the first like big character that was an anti-hero in a way, that was like not a Superman, like not a good dude. I think in the first story of him, like some guys are coming to discover him, and he's just like, I don't know these guys. I'm just going to rip their air tubes off. It just kills them. So, I mean, he's not a good dude, but then he went on to fight Nazis. So I don't know. He's an incredible character.
Everybody fights Nazis.
Everybody fights the Nazis.
Worth their salt.
So, yeah. But yeah, Bill Everett is such an interesting guy. He and his wife were kind of like the Scott and Zelda Fitzgerald of the comics. They were very big partiers. They were very, they were just these kind of, they were really outsized, colorful personalities, and them as a duo. And so they were very hard drinking, which eventually caught up with Everett, even though he did get sober in the late 60s, I think. And he, he went to AA and was really instrumental in getting other people and comic creators as well sober. And really, it was really, really important to him. But I think by 72, I think he died, 73, it all caught up with him. He was 55 years old when he died, which is kind of crazy. But at the career he had. He
had, after becoming sober, went back and took over
Submariner
for like a short run, right? Like 6 months or something, or
maybe a little longer. I think maybe close to a year.
Yeah.
And but he was doing, and he did different assignments at the end of his life. Some really cool, like taking over Submariner stuff, and then others that we've talked about of him doing weird gigs like drawing modern clothes on and hairstyles on the Skywald reprints. Color comics, on the Skywald romance reprints and stuff. But no, highly respected, highly, obviously famous guy. But this book is really, really well put together. Blake Bell is an incredible historian. The art in here, and it's it's out of print, but it's not. I think it was $40 when it came out. You can find it used for $50.
Like, what year was this published? Like 2018 or something? It's like relatively new.
I don't know. I think it might have been. I got to look and see when this was published. I thought it was even
newer.
2010. Fantagraphics.
Okay. Oh, Fantagraphics. Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I was looking because I wanted to talk about this, and I'm like, I don't want to talk about it if it's like $400. But I found on like Abe Books or some other stuff. I mean, you can get a decent copy for like $50.
My personal gauge is like, if it's typically twice the cover price, that's within reason. Yeah. So.
No, it's well below twice. Like this was $40 new, so you can get it pretty close to that. I don't think you pay more than 55, 60 for it. So,
The world needs more Bill Everett. So,
Oh man, he's just so good. Yeah, I forgot. I had given you a gift of these little hardcovers that were compilations of all of his his Centaur and Funnies Inc. stuff, and it's fucking awesome.
oh, they're so fun to read.
Yeah, they're so good.
It's like eating candy floss for dinner. Like, it's absolute just joy. Comics joy.
Amazing Man, especially.
Yeah,
Amazing Man is just it's so fucking amazing. And I was talking I think the story in here of him coming up with the Submariner and stuff, and it's a lot of it is just let's go to the library. And that's how it was when he was supposed to come up with Amazing Man, because they were just we got superheroes are all the rage, kid. And so he would go either with his mom or his sister, and they'd just go and research and come up with characters. And and then he took the Mariner and the pronunciation of Mariner from Rhyme the Ancient Mariner.
Right.
That's where the name came from. And he's just he's a very cool guy. One of my favorite artists, top 3, if not number 1 of all time. And I've been obsessed with him for a long time. So any Bill Everett you can check out, I definitely recommend you do.
Yeah, I'm sure you've read The 10-Cent Plague.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I first encountered that book as an audiobook where the narrator pronounced it Submariner.
Oh.
And I would just wince like Homer, dough every time.
That's so painful.
It just grated. Awful.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's such an interesting character, right? Because you're saying, especially in that time, the hero, the heroic ideal was cast back to the Greek, the hero, capital H, to stray from that at all. I mean, the fact that Batman took off was kind of weird, right? In the shadow,
yeah.
That was kind of taboo to have someone that worked in the shadows or killed people outright. So to have someone like this Submariner was that stuff didn't become normalized till Ditko did Mr. A, or the Question. I think the Question, in his third adventure, just lets some dude go down the sewer. Yeah, actually, I'm not going to save you.
Yeah.
Right. But that moral ambiguity was still kind of scary in the early 70s, late 60s, comics wise.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's stuff, just with Namor and, just fighting against surface people. And even in the very first stories, surface people polluting the waters and different things. And he's this, he's basically this eco-avenger from the very beginning, and just, basically just being you humans are trash, and you're throwing your trash in my home, and you're the fucking worst. And we are the fucking worst. So, yeah.
I can't think of outside of Fletcher Hanks, a lot of people that would just do bonkers stuff like that, but he could pull it off because, like you said, it has a moral center to it. It's morally muddy, but he has a right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, and all of Bill Everett's heroes, the anti-hero or not, they do have that moral center. But yeah, even just thinking about that first Marvel Comics Presents, even the hero of the Human Torch, the Human Torch is a fucking android that kills its maker. Mm-hmm. I love that people forget that sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm just
yeah.
I'm oh yeah, no, Golden Age Human Torch, he's a fucking robot that killed his inventor, sadly enough.
Yeah.
It's Marvel weird.
Definitely timely, whatever. Was that timely?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's timely.
Yeah, that ushered in a whole new thing, for sure. Cool. Well, I need to pick that up at some point. And I want to revisit my Bill Everett collection he gave me, now that we've talked about it. Sweet. So we did this, and then we're going to probably have Athena on next, and talk about Marvel preview. I forgot what it's called. 7, I think. And talk to her about playing Satana, and then we'll do a Kickstarter catch up with Matt Emmons' Daystar, because
Perfect.
You've read it and I have not.
Got it right by my bed.
Yeah, I realized we've already backed another project he's kicking out. Should be out in May, but we'll be done by then. But yeah, I was damn, this guy's prolific.
Yeah, I'm glad we get to talk about as much of his stuff as we can.
Yeah. I forget. This is it's an animal based thing, right? Animal
Yes.
characters. Cool. Yeah. So I'm stoked to read it. I think it's like 76 pages. I think with like 100 with back matter.
Yeah, it's real short format too. It's real small.
Cool. I don't know if we got a PDF of it to share on here. Hopefully we did. I might have.
So we could use illustrations on the show.
Yeah. Just so we can show a little bit here and there. So we're talking about it. But yeah, we'll just do like we've been doing all season, just a review and just like show some art. Yeah, because I don't think we've talked about anything of his since the Council of Frogs.
Nope.
Which I think we both were like, I almost kind of cried a couple points in here.
I did.
So, yeah, I'm stoked to talk about his stuff again. I love that guy. Sweet. Well, I hope this was of interest to you folks out there. I offered something new and bizarre and probably not of interest to most people here, but and Jacob did his awesome history dive, and yeah, well-rounded. Well done.
Well-rounded and very on brand.
Yeah.
If there's a platonic ideal of ourselves in a shadow show.
Yep. Yeah, I'll be curious. If you do check out Forming, Jacob, I'd like to hear what you think. Yeah, so I read the first volume, which is like 126 pages or so, 150. By the last quarter of it, I was like, okay, the thing where you're sitting down and saying, what am I going to do this week? And doing something playful, maybe transgressive, or maybe a little silly is starting to outweigh the premise.
Yeah.
And so I started to feel like I don't know how stoked I am about Volume 2. So if you do check it out, I'd be curious to hear what you think of it. Like I was so on fire about the first half. Like, holy shit, this is so cool. It's like stoner, weird astronauts, peanuts on huffing gas. Like it's this weird fucking thing. And now it's like, okay. I'm not sure if I'm on board for 3 of these.
Kind of how I felt about Megahex.
Yeah. Megahex, I feel like I love Megahex, but I feel like Megahex is kind of a treatise on depression, and you know, I mean, I think that the drug use in that and a lot of the transgressive stuff in there is ways of processing trauma. Mm-hmm. I haven't read a ton of interviews with the creator, but I feel like that's just the stuff I read around it, like kind of the vibe, like it's clinical depression being treated with drugs and weird transgressive behavior to process daily life and the horrors of daily life. I love it, but I see what you're saying, and I feel like one of the things I thought was weird about it is it gets darker as it goes on. Like the stuff that was published post COVID or during COVID was like so dark. I was having a hard time with it because I was in COVID was a dark place, but like it's dark and it's not for everybody. Like there's people that I know that on our Discord that absolutely hated it. And I'm like, really? Like you didn't like the first volume where it's just like all fresh and new and just people being stoned and just punking on a werewolf and just kind of doing weird shit.
I love the first couple volumes, but then it just got a little dark for me.
It gets darker and darker.
Yeah.
I'll agree 100%. Yeah. Anyway, this doesn't get dark. The meandering and the playfulness starts to kind of play against it, I think, in my opinion. But I'd be curious if you do check it out, what you thought of it. I was definitely 100% on board for the first 75 pages or so. I was just like, holy shit, this is amazing. Like, I think Jacob's going to love this. And then the more it kind of strayed and splintered off from actual mythology, I was like, okay. And then like it gets to where it's just kind of like, shit, bitch. Like, it's like, wait, okay, what are we doing? So yeah. Anyway, if you check it out, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts.
Cool. Yeah. I'll give you a report.
Right on. All right.
Well, as we like to say at the end of the Shadow Show, we just got 3 more of these.
Yeah, we do.
So got to raise it to the Dark Lord even more than ever. So hail to him. Hail Satan.
Hail Satan. I will say, if we do take like an extended break between the last episode and the finale, I wouldn't mind just like doing a non-structured something.
Oh yeah, I'd love that.
For the Patreons.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Sweet. All right. Well, that was the Shadow Show.
That was the Shadow Show.
Okay.